So it's really exciting to interview you again, David. So tell me a little bit about how it was creating this film that took place in the 90s that personally, as a millennial, gave me so much nostalgic memories from seeing all the kids playing around and kind of trying to find a mystery, just like in the movies that I used to watch when I was younger.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I grew up in the 90s. 90s is now nostalgic. That definitely dates us, but it is. That's the time that we're in. And this is a movie coming out in the movie theater October 4th, which is so cool. And part of the magic of the cinema is you escape into another world that is not your current world. So for me, I wanted to really distance ourselves from the present day time and create an atmosphere that people could feel like they're escaping to and feel nostalgic and just go have a really good time. So making it in the 90s was a way to achieve that. And also setting it in this like Norman Rockwell kind of aesthetic that just feels like a time where anything is possible and there's optimism in the air. And it was a great setting for escapism, which I think is key to the theatrical experience.
You know, also in this film with Monster Summer, I also really loved how there was so much mystery with Ben, his disappearance, and then he comes back, and there's so much mystery on how he's acting a little different. It also gives the element of spookiness because they don't know if it's a monster and what's going on until Mel Gibson's character comes in and helps him discover what is going on with all that. And I don't want to give too much away for our audience. But with all that being said, what was it like, as a director, creating the script, taking place in the 90s, trying to give that Goonies / Stranger Things vibe with the characters trying to solve a mystery with what happened to Ben?
Yeah, some of the movies you just referenced were big touch points for me because I really want this to be a co-viewing experience. I want this to be a film that parents and their 9, 10, 11-year-old middle schooler or any of their kids can sit down and watch together. So parents will get in there and they'll see the Goonies and they'll see Sandlot, and the kids will get in there and they'll see Stranger Things. They'll see other references that they're familiar with. But that's all inherent to this kind of spooky genre, and I think it's a wonderful genre because it really can dive into deeper themes. The major theme in this film is that evil wins when good men do nothing, and it's great to set that in this spooky mystery because it's going to take a lot of courage for our main character in order to go out there and do what he needs to do.
Yes, and also with the film, I love that Mel Gibson was kind of helping all the kids kind of find figure out what was going on in the end, and he helped guided them. What was it like directing Mel Gibson? He hasn't done a movie in a long time, a kids movie that is. I'm sorry, kids movie in a long time. So what was it like directing him in this process?
I was so nervous to work with Mel because he's an Oscar-winning director, but he dispelled that immediately because he really is a team player. Like he so believed in me that it made me feel confident in what I was doing. And that's not always the case with big actors. I've worked with a lot of other big actors who terrorize the director. And Mel didn't do that at all. In fact, he was a teammate. He helped empower me. He had all sorts of great suggestions. And I was always like, yeah, let's do what the Oscar-winning director suggested. Yeah, let's do that. And he absolutely contributed. I mean, even more than just an actor, he really contributed. And you can tell he's having fun because he hasn't done a kids movie since Pocahontas, I don't think. So the fact that he got to do something that he genuinely wanted to do because it was different for him, and he's got kids who will get to watch this movie, young kids. He's got a 12-year-old, in fact, that's perfect for this film. He's bringing her to the premiere tonight. So he got to have fun. He got to do something that he thinks his kids will enjoy. And you see that in his performance. There's a old school Mel. You can tell he's having fun to his performance. I think it's one of his best performances in at least 10 years. He does a great job.
I also love that you casted Patrick Renee, who is a big actor in the 90s. He still is acting today, but he brought so much nostalgic memories for me, at least, seeing him in this film.
That's a big part of it. Like I wanted Patrick Renee in this film so bad. In fact, when we first got the script, I was driving with my friends who were producing the film with me. And I was like, man, we got to get Patrick Renee in this film somehow. We got to get him in this film somehow because he is a part of that big warm hug that I'm hoping, millennials or people in their 40s will feel when watching this film because The Sandlot was a big part of a lot of our lives. So he adds a nice texture to the film that really helps land the nostalgia home.
Yes, and also what I've noticed too is when they're all like playing baseball and he's kind of asking Ben if he's okay, it kind of also just reminds me of like in the films where in the past in the 90s how they're just trying to help people kind of like really solve the mystery, and a lot of like the Goonies and Stranger Things as well. So I really love that you brought his character in. How did you reach out to him?
I slipped into his DMs. So I literally just DM'd him on Instagram, and we had some friends in common, and I convinced him to take a meeting with me, and I got on Zoom with him, and we had a great meeting. He liked the script, and by the end of that, he goes, "Okay, let's do it. This is a real deal. Let's do it."
Nice. I love hearing that, especially because it's like took place in the 90s and you had a very modern way of reaching out to him. So,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's amazing. So unique. What's also another thing that I loved about the film was in the trailer, it kind of seems really spooky. So it kind of makes you think like, okay, is this going to be like, I know it's PG-13, but is it going to be too scary to show kids, or is it okay to show a child? I'm not sure. How was it like making this film to make it where it's a good middle ground?
Yeah, the North Star in my mind was scare, not scar. So I'm totally fine with scaring, because just the element of scaring someone or fear is a really good one, because it can help you face your fears. You know, fear does exist, and it's something that should be called out, fought, and overcome. So that's a great thing to play with in storytelling. So I was okay with that, but I didn't want to ever scar someone. I don't want someone to, be scarred by this film. So to me, it was that fine balance. It is PG-13, but we've had a lot of younger kids that have no problem watching it. You know, there's no cursing, no sex, no anything in the film. It's as clean as it gets. If it wasn't for a couple scenes, we probably could have gotten a PG. But yeah, there's some action in it. You know, there's some action and some scares, but it's always for a purpose.
Yes, and I love that it comes out October 4th because it's right around, for Halloween, spooky season. Families can really enjoy watching in the movie theaters.
Yes, that's the goal. October 4th, go take your family for a fun, spooky time, adventure, and let me know what you think.
Perfect. One last question. What is your favorite Bible verse?
I have one in my pocket. I forgot. It's the same one I read to you the other day, but this is, I have a different one, actually. I have two in here.
I love that you have them with you.
Yeah, I always carry, a little verse around to look at throughout the day, because it's good little reminders, good little reminders. This is a good one for the film, too. And this is 2 Timothy. For God hath not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love, and of sound mind.
Beautiful.
So that's a good one. He's not giving us a spirit of fear. Power and love overcomes fear. That's what the movie's about. Go see it.
Yes. Perfect. Thank you so much, David.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.